Happy Sunday! Welcome to week 32 of the Bead Stash Challenge. I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I'm looking forward to drawing to see what we're going to make this week. It's week 32, and we will also make a bracelet. I've had some beads that I bought at the gem show back in February, and they've been sitting here, and they've been calling out to me to make something, so we're going to make a bracelet with them today. Just a quick little project, but that, you know, it'll be fun and it'll be pretty, and I'll be happy that I finally made something with these beads. So, let's see, announcements. Kids are ready to ship this week. So, remember, we have 3 different kits. So we have our prickly pear cactus kit. This is our desert garden series. Okay. We've got our saguaro cactus, and we've got this little guy who's really pretty on top. It's a barrel cactus. Okay. So if you buy all 3, you get $5 off. So the prickly pear and the saguaro are $16 each. You get all the crystals, and you'll probably have a few extras, and you get written instructions for each of those designs. The smaller one is $10. You get the crystals and you get the design. The only thing you have to add is the wire and your tools, and really it's minimal tools, right? So if you buy all 3, you get $5 off. So that would be, let's see, 30. So $37 plus shipping if you buy all 3. I'm guessing the shipping is going to be around $8 because, you know, shipping prices went up. I do it by weight, so I need to, I will figure that out afterwards. If you buy 2, you get $2 off, okay? So, it's pretty much my bundle deal. So you bundle 2 things, you get $2 off. You bundle 3 things, you get $5 off. There are no, you know, if you bundle 6 things, you don't get $10 off necessarily. I'll have to think about that, but I don't know that anybody's ever bought 6 things for me at one time. Anyways, so there we go. I will also show you, and I'll show you up close when we turn over the camera. So for the prickly pear, I had to special order some crystals. So I have a lot of some of the crystals, not all of the crystals that go into this kit. So the ones I special ordered, there's, I think, seven different designs and sizes in here. So I'm selling a package of these, and this package actually, I believe it has more crystals than the other. I mean, it's definitely got more of each kind than the prickly pear does, but there's some shapes, like there's heart shapes in the prickly pear that are not in here because you can buy those directly from Beadoria all on your own, okay? And I didn't buy a huge amount of them, whereas I bought a huge amount of these. So anyways, you can get this bag. I'm selling it for $12, and it's about an $18 value, okay? If I give you full retail price for these, okay? So $12 for a bag of lovely crystals, and I'll show them to you when I flip the camera over. And you can order by commenting on this video. You can comment on, I didn't put up a post for the crystals. I did put up a post for the kits. And as always, you can message me. I will also have them on my website. If you want to order from the website, wait a few minutes wait at least until the end of today, because I need to get the bundle coupon working on there, so that it will work, so that you can get the bundle and I don't have to refund you, because that just makes things harder, okay? But if you order directly from me rather than through the website, which is directly, I guess, but what happens is you tell me what you want, you give me your email, I send you an invoice. And it's the same system you'd be paying with on the website, okay? But with the invoice, you get, then you'll just pay it with a credit card. I don't take PayPal, but you can use Apple Pay, I think, or Cash App, I believe, or a credit card. So I don't take your stuff correctly. It's a cutout system. So anyways, so if you're watching on the replay afterwards, please let me know. I'd love to know who's out there and watching. If you haven't already, please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. I do move all these videos over to YouTube after we're done because Facebook only saves them for 30 days. So anything more than 30 days old that you want to see, it should be over on YouTube. Now, not everything from last year's there, and we missed out on March. We lost March this year, but the rest of them are there. So if you need to catch anything, that's where you catch them. So, but let's get the camera over, and I'm going to show you these crystals, and then we're going to draw our cards. So. I don't know why my Zoom is being weird. All right, well, we are going to use that unless I decide it's too zoomed in. But anyways, so before we get started, if you are interested, I am selling extra crystals. These are the similar crystals. Like I said, it's not all the shapes in here, but it's the majority of them that are in the prickly pear. So you get, I promise I won't drop your crystals on the floor, but you get a variety of shapes. You get some teardrops, you get some ovals, you get some coins, and they're all in this lovely violet dream, I think is what Beadoria calls it. Okay, and these are thunder polished crystals. They're very good quality crystals, heavy crystals. These would make beautiful sun catchers as well as jewelry. So like I said, you get a variety of sizes. Basically, these are the smallest. It's a 10 millimeter coin. You also have a 12 millimeter flat oval. So there's, I think, 3 different sizes of ovals. And the big guy, right? You have 2 different sizes of rounds. You've got 10 and 12. And 12 is a size that's not usually offered. Hey, Janelda. Thanks for jumping on. I hope your show went well. And we've got 2 different sizes of teardrops in here. So if you're interested, one of these little bags of crystals, it's $12. I'm not offering additional discounts off of the crystals if you just order the crystals, but if you order them with kit, I will honor the bundle discounts, okay? So let me know if you want to add crystals to your order. And let's go ahead and draw. So if you're new to us, we are the makers of the Bead Stash Challenge cards. And what Bead Stash Challenge is it's a way to boost your creativity, get you out of a slump, just kind of help you use your stash. Now we have 5 decks currently available. You need the base deck, which is deck 1 to start, and then everything else adds on from there. We have a color deck, we have a non-jewelry and findings deck, we have a sun and sea deck, which is all things beachy, and we have our Desert Southwest deck, which is things deserty. Now you'll see that I have a very small pile here, and that's because 31 of the cards have already been taken out. I stick them in my I stick them aside once we bake them until I run out of cards so that we get through everything and we get to try everything, all right? But this week we are going to make a bolo style necklace. So a bolo, if you don't know what that is, it's one of those ties, you know, with the long, actually I have one here, surprisingly. I didn't think about that. This is bolo style, so it's got basically, you know, 2 dangly strings down from something, and they're often adjustable. Okay, so we'll see how we want to make that. I'm going to put this on, but let's see what we're going to use in our project. You know, often you'll see, so I mean the style is just, you know, you kind of have to have something dangly, and it doesn't necessarily have to be adjustable, but you know, the ties themselves are adjustable. All right. So the next kind of cards we have in our decks are called used cards. We just flipped this over last week. So this is, if you have all the decks, you have a giant pile of used cards. So these are the things you're going to pull out of your bead stash to use in your project. So this is the full pile minus the 3 cards I used last week. Now, I like to draw 3 cards. You can draw 1 card. You can draw 5 cards. You can draw 10 cards. It's totally up to you. Okay. Now you will get some weird combinations sometimes, and if you think you get things that totally cannot go together, which, you know, I've made some weird things, but it is possible to make some weird combinations of things. But I love what using these cards do for me is it makes me go look through my stash, and I find things that I haven't used or I forgot about, and it makes me pull them out and make other projects. So I don't use cards to make all my projects. I do make still projects on my own. All right, so what are we going to use in art? We're going to use some gunmetal beads or metal. Okay. We are going to use burgundy. And we're going to use some head pins somewhere in our design. So, you know, I think that's certainly doable. All right. And our last kind of cards, I realize I am a little too zoomed in for the cards, but you know what? I'm going to leave it, and that'll help us when we're doing our project, right? So the challenge cards, again, these I also have not flipped over since the beginning of the year. But they are just that. It's to add a little something. It'll add a theme to your design. It'll add a design challenge. It just sometimes adds something that just shakes it up a little bit, right? So our design is going to be inspired by chili peppers. So, you know, it is pepper season. If any of you into your grocery store and you get a chance to get hatch chilies, you know it's chili season, so it's very appropriate. So I am going to make a bolo themed, or a bolo style necklace. Bolo style necklace. We're going to use gunmetal beads or metal in our design. We're going to use burgundy in our design. We are going to use head pins in our design. And it's going to be inspired by chili peppers, which probably means there's going to be some green or some red in there somewhere. So remember, we made our chili pepper design. I forget what did we make out of the chili peppers? I think it was a necklace, right? This is just an extra chili pepper that I made, so may see something like that again. So, all right, that will be fun. All right, so I thought I would make a little, a bracelet. I have had these beads sitting around on my workspace since I bought these at the bead show back in February. I think, you know, these are Afghan if I recall, but you know, they have turquoise and lapis in them, so I thought we would make something with those. Hey Marianica. Then I've got some faceted lapis coins from Beadoria and Stars Beads, so I thought those would look good with that. And I've got some little turquoise rondelles. I will say this is synthetic turquoise, not real turquoise, but hey, you know, still looks good. Got a couple other spacer beads. I've got some small lapis beads in case I decide to use those. And then I've got either a lobster clasp or a tiny toggle clasp, so I have to decide which one of those I want to use. What do you guys think? Toggles or lobsters? Which is better for these beads? You know, sometimes you want something that's kind of in the same size as your beads. This is a little smaller. I pulled out a really large lobster. Anybody have any thoughts, or is it totally up to me? Move Mr. Swirl out of the way. You're a lobster person? I kind of go both ways. You know, I feel like I have to use my bracelet helper when I use lobsters, but I can use the giant lobster. I'm fine with that. I did think that since I'm using, since these have a brass in them, I thought I would use gold because I didn't have any. Well, I do have smaller brass lobsters, but I kind of like this large one. So I actually thought I would put a loop on the end of my design so that since I want to minimize the silver that's sticking out. So really, I always like to have a small bead at the end. So what I was thinking was that I would kind of like use these turquoise spacers around each of the coin beads. And then since I have 5 of these in 2 different designs, I thought maybe I would, you know, just alternate them. So nothing particularly complicated. Since these beads are hollow, it does take a little aim to get your beading wire out the other side. Let's put a couple more of these on and then we'll see what we think. Let's see. All right, so what do you guys think? You like that? If you're a turquoise and lapis person like I am, I'm loving the colors. It's so weird. You know, I feel like I'm holding my hand like way to the left or way to the not far as right as it shows on the screen. Anyways, that's all right. Let's so it's just another example. You know, if you get like some of these Heishi's, or I think technically since these have round edges, they're rondelles in some people's minds, but you know, you don't have to necessarily stack them all up next to each other. You can use them as a spacer. All right, I obviously have this zoomed in too far because I keep going off the screen. So Janelda, how'd your show go? Are you still there at the show? All right, let's see if this is long enough. Or too long. Maybe too long. So if I could close that right there, it would be the right length. But I can't. So I think maybe what I'll do for this last one, instead of the coin, I'm going to put this small piece of small round of lapis there. I'll have to do that on both sides, but I think that will shorten it up enough. All right, let's get some crimps out here, and I'm going to go put the lobster on first. Oops, and I completely missed the hole. All right. Oh, you're busy travel season. I guess they do hold a lot of the conventions and stuff during the summer, huh? So, let's see. I probably don't need that much of a tail, but it should fit. So maybe I'll do that. Again, I want to minimize the silver that's sticking out, so I'm going to make the ring or the loop kind of smallish here. And let's see if our magic gripper works on these. Again, ravioli. And 90 degrees, and then squish around until you get your little bead. Yay, it worked. I know you seem surprised, but I'm not sure. My gold crimp beads I've had for a while, and I don't know for sure whether they were the right size. So, and of course, now that I'm trying to get this back through here, it's not going to fit. So, see, I just wasted wire. I thought it would fit through that smaller bead. All right, and now we got to remember to swap out this coin on this side. So, keep knocking my cactuses over, so I need to move those off my workspace here. And let's see if, make sure this shortens it up enough. Trying to, all right, let me put, I'm going to put a bead stopper on here for a moment so that my beads don't go flying while I'm trying to make sure this fits. It's going to be a little loose, but I think it'll be close enough. I guess if it's too loose, I can always shorten it up later. So. All right, so let's put our crimp on here, and then again we're going to do this loop. Now this is a loop or a soldered jump ring. So if that was a regular jump ring, I'd probably want to put 2 on there to make sure that it didn't you know, it doesn't come off, which is why sometimes it's easier just to use the soft flex. And now I'm kind of, since it's gonna be a little long, I'm not sure I want to use the loop, because that's just gonna make it that much longer. So I think I'm gonna go back on that decision. And again, that won't go through that bead, so okay. And make sure I'm pulling on the right one. Sometimes these this wire is a little harder to pull if you don't have it at the right angle, you know. Oh, getting notices from the spammers again. All right, so let's double check. I think that's gonna be a pretty good fit there. So nice and easy stringing project today. If I can. And back with our ravioli time. What is the hard part? Oh, getting the getting everything settled down here. So there we go. All right, so we got a little silver sticking out. And yes, for those who don't know, they do make gold beading wire. But I was gonna say I don't have any, but that's not completely true. I do have some cheap gold beading wire, and then you know, they also make like 14 karat gold beading wire, but I don't really see the need for that because gold is so expensive anyway. So, and this is brass really. So, all right. So let's. You know me. I gotta have my. So used to using my bracelet helper that I have to. So remember with the bracelet helper, how I do it is I attach it on the side with the ring, and then I use my other hand to handle the lobster clasp. And that's how we get our bracelet on. So I'm loving the colors in this. Woo. Yep. Like I said, I've been wanting to make that for a while. So thanks for letting me get that off of my to-do list. Fine, there that goes. So, all right, I am going to start invoicing today for the kits. Like I said, for those of you that I have orders from currently, you now have a chance to pull the bracelet helper card. You do. Like I said, I like my bracelet helpers. Anyways, I'm going to start invoicing. If anybody's interested in also adding these, the crystal big mix to your order, let me know. I will, they'll be available for a while, but let's go ahead and flip this. But I'll probably start invoicing tonight for, like I said, the orders that I have, and we will ship them out early this week. I still haven't scheduled the make-alongs, but I'm working on it, and but you know, gotta get your kits to you. I do hope we'll do one of them before the end of this month, and then like I said, right after Labor Day I will be leaving town for a couple weeks, and so we'll have to probably finish them, any of the remainder make-alongs for that. You know, I think if I do some prep ahead of time, I could make 2 of them in one show, but I also think since I'm selling the kits separately that you may want to just be able to watch the video for that kit, and so if I keep them separate, that helps you guys if you want to go back and watch it later. So that's where we're at. All right, so I will be back on Thursday. Good thing you made some money, because you gotta have some cactus, Janelda. Cactus are good. All right, so Thursday. Oh, see, I put this on, and we'll see. So, like I said, this is a bolo tie, but you know what? Women can wear them as necklaces. So I think Kay at Stars Beads found this in a one of her thrift store finds, and sent it to me. It's a lot of fun, but I will be making something, and like I said, to me the bolo style just has to have some dangles, right? So we'll figure out how we're gonna make our dangles, and it's gonna have gunmetal, burgundy. We're gonna use head pins, and it's gonna be designed by or inspired by chili peppers. So, and it's chili pepper season, so if you like me, I love green chili. Hatch green chili is like the best green chili, and it is hatch season. Hatch chili season. And I know you can get them all over the place, because I used to be able to get them in Virginia. I could get them in Colorado. And I will say, you know what? It's harder to find a chili roaster around here in Arizona. And I don't know if it's just because it's so hot they don't want to be roasting chilies or what. You know, you can find them, but it seems like it's a little harder to find makes no sense to me, but I don't know if it's a New Mexico, Arizona thing, whatever. So we'll see. So anyways, I am modeling my earrings that we made last week. So that was fun. All right, I will see you on Thursday at noon, and we will make our bolo style necklace. If you haven't already, get your kit orders in. Like I said, if you want to use the website, give me until at least tomorrow. I got to get the bundle coupon in there so I don't have to refund money for people that buy a bundle. But if you want to use the website, you can. Otherwise, you can message Desert Cat Creations and just let me know what you want. And if you're new, I need your email so I can invoice you. And I want to thank you all again. Please like and follow us, and like our videos. That helps me, and it's free, even if you can't buy anything. If you at least you know, like my videos or posts, that helps get me some more visibility. And you know, that's always a good thing, right? So it keeps projects coming. So, all right. I hope you all have a chance to be creative this week, and I will see you on Thursday.